Um, I don't remember what I was doing. I guess I'm just going to I guess I'll look over at Yoan and say, Yoan, help me! And attempt to inspire.
Okay.
So, and then I'll just kind of look at the one here that's in front of me and just say, you think that you're the worst shadow I've ever seen? And I will viciously mock it.
Okay. And it's a wisdom save.
Damn, almost max damage too.
It does make it save, however.
So I don't know if it. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it does nothing.
Okay.
Not even damage?
Nope.
Nope.
Jeez.
So, all right. And that'll end my turn, I guess.
All right.
I just want a monster to reply, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." One day to have failed a vicious mockery attempt.
Okay. So then that brings us back to these creatures. So that's going to be 2 attacks on Yoan. That is a 20 to hit
Yes.
and a 5 to hit.
Nope.
Okay, so you take 5 points of necrotic damage,
Okay.
and your strength score decreases by 4.
Oh my goodness.
Don't you
That's what
die if you reach 0?
You don't know.
It
We'll
helps
find
that
out
I
soon.
started with a really high strength score.
All right, that brings us to the 2 that are now still on run. Another pair of attacks here. A 17 to hit
Mm-hmm.
and an 8 to hit.
For the 17, can I do, what the hell is it? I'm looking for cutting words.
Yes.
Alright, I'm just gonna look at him and say, come on, man, you wouldn't hit a man with glasses, would you?
Are you wearing glasses?
Indeed I am. I'm still wearing my sunglasses.
Oh.
The little tiny sunglasses.
I was waiting for you to say no.
No, I am. What was it? It was a D8, I think.
Yeah, whatever your inspiration die is.
3.
Oh.
You said it was a 17?
Yes, it was.
Still hits. Fuck.
Alright, so you take 7 points of necrotic damage.
Alright.
And your strength score goes down by another 3. How you doing?
I have 2. I have a 2 strength.
Alright.
Weakling.
Okay, so that brings us then to the one that's still on Rotavio. Let's see. It continues trying to latch onto him and does seem to deal some damage. And you can see as Rotavio is fighting back, it looks like that sword cane is getting pretty heavy in his hand. Alright. Yoan, what are you doing?
I am healing myself. uh, let's cast it at 2nd level.
16.
Okay.
Woo! That's pretty exciting.
Alright, so that's 16 HP back to you. Anything else?
That's my action. I don't really have bonus action things I can do. So, yeah. That's it.
Okay. So then that will bring us to the bears. So now we've got a pair of attacks on the creature to your left. That would be 2 hits. And this thing is looking to be in very rough shape, but not down yet. And then I suppose the other 3 will all kind of converge on the one to your south on the map, since they haven't gotten any other orders. And that is from the bear on the right. 2 misses. From the bear on the bottom right. 2 hits. And that is enough to dissipate the second shadow around Yoan. And then attempting to do its best to follow orders, this one is going to then come up here and come in like a flying leap over the first bed in the room, make a pair of attacks against the last remaining creature at Yoan's bedside. Unfortunately, missing both times.
It's not very agile.
Okay, and that will do it for the bears. Melkar, what are you doing?
Noticing that Ron is now looking like a beanpole, like his muscles just withered away and he's got flabby skin. I'm gonna try and attack this one on the bottom.
Okay. Alright, and that's 17 hits. 13 points of fire damage. Okay. So, yeah, it makes pretty square contact, although it still seems to not be doing as much damage as you might expect something like that to do.
And I'm wondering, what do they look like to me? Because I can see in all this darkness.
They are shadowy looking figures. They look to be practically made of shadow itself.
Like a jade or something? Can I, like, roll to see if I know what it is?
Sure, I guess with your studies and such, you could make a history check.
Dang it.
Yeah, not really. This isn't exactly an everyday occurrence.
Okay, that's it on my turn.
Okay. So then we've got Rictavio, who is going to keep trying to fight off this thing that's over his bed. That's another 2 swipes with his silvered sword cane. And 2 hits. And as the second hit cuts through, the figure just dissipates, kind of settles down to this black, foggy form near the floor before just kind of seeming to absorb back into it. Alright. Ron, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna roll over, reach out a very limp arm to Malkar and say, "Save yourself and attempt to inspire him with just saying that. And that's all I got.
Okay.
My attack.
Huh?
Is that D8 to my attack?
It's a you could add it, I think.
Yeah, you can use inspiration for a lot of things. Basically anything you have to roll a d20 for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright. Brings us back to these shadowy creatures. So, first off is the one that's still on Yoen. These do not appear to be the most cunning creatures, so it's just going to keep attacking. So, that is a 12 to hit.
No.
Okay. It is going to try one last thing. Alright, you see it sort of sink down toward the floor, almost attempting to merge with the natural shadow of the room. It's kind of difficult to make out where the the creature itself ends and the natural shadow begins. So, might be a bit of a challenge to hit this thing going forward. Okay, that brings us to the two that are on Ron. So, first one, a 15 to hit.
Okay, yeah.
That is 6 points of necrotic damage.
Alright.
And your strength score decreases by another 2 points.
Well, that's a problem.
He's a bag of jelly.
I'm at 0 strength.
And the other two of you just see Ron collapse down to the floor.
Can I tell if he's still breathing? Like, is his shirt moving up and down at all?
Let's see, at this point, he would be basically prone behind a bed, so you don't even have eye contact on him.
Crap.
With that, you see the second entity just sort of sink back down, sort of like the one next to Yoen, seeming to kind of merge with the shadows in the room. And then actually these two are not visible at this point. Though, bear in mind you could attempt to find them if you were so motivated. Alright. Yoen.
I'm gonna try and attack the one that sunk into the floor near me.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check first. Okay. And so then you it's hard to make out, but you're just gonna try and push through and attack it, just kind of guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're what, using your spear? Okay, you stab into the floor. There is no noticeable effect.
Okay. And for my bonus action, I guess I'll tell the bears to attack anything unfriendly near Ron.
Okay. All right, and that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Or I'll head towards where I saw Ron collapse too.
Okay.
Is he still breathing?
He is not.
I yell to Melkar that he's not breathing.
All right. Anything else?
And I don't think I can do anything else.
That's fair. All right. So that brings us down to the bears. And with only one of these things being visible, their first action will be to do everything they can to take it down. So, we'll just go from nearest to farthest on these bear attacks. So, bite and a claw from the nearest one, 2 misses. And this one down here, bite and a claw attack, 2 nat 1s in a row. This one, bite and a claw attack. There we go. That's 2 hits. Oh, this one takes a bit of damage, though not seemingly quite on the ropes yet. And then the last one, barreling over after kind of righting itself, having fallen across the bed in its last 2 missed attacks. And bite and claw. That is 1 hit and 1 miss. So the thing takes another little bit of damage. Alright. Melkar.
I want to come down below the bed. And I make a perception check to see where the other one went.
Sure. You know, due to your particular set of skills, go ahead and roll that again. You do see this kind of amorphous, seemingly slightly darker mass of shadow scuttling across the ground in your general direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and attack it.
Okay. Okay. So that first one does hit. And certainly deals some damage. I mean, it's hard to really gauge given that this thing doesn't have humanoid features at the given moment, but it seems to have taken the full brunt of that damage.
Think of like a blob of jello sliding across the floor, and then suddenly it jiggles. Because the guy.
You could apply your inspiration to that hit that missed.
Yeah, probably should.
Okay. And that hits.
Oh, jeez.
And with that second impact, the amorphous mass of shadow just dissipates.
I'm just thinking of shadowy steam evaporating.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run down towards Ron.
Okay.
Stand there. In a defensive position, I guess. That's the
Okay.
turn.
Alright, and then we'll bring us to Rictavio, who will jump out of bed and do his best to kind of squeeze through the tightly packed bed frames here. He's just going to do everything he can to get up into the fray. So he will have to dash, but he is in the thick of things. And you just see him standing in this defensive posture, And he slowly, shakily raises his sword cane to point at the last visible shadow creature. And that's going to have to end his turn. Actually, let's see. Let's see if Octavio can pull something out here. Nothing particularly useful, fortunately. Okay, so that will end his turn. No, Ron can't do anything. So that brings us to these creatures. Okay. Melkar and Yoan, both of you make perception checks.
I'm just the normal one this time.
You can make yours with advantage, I would say. Okay. So you watch as this thing begins to sink down into the floor, but you are able to trace it well enough to take attacks of opportunity as it attempts to slip away.
What about my bears?
I just rolled for them, and the lowest roll among the four of them was an 18.
To attack or for perception?
For perception.
Damn, damn.
Huh?
Just saying damn.
So, let's make some bear attacks.
Go bears.
4 attacks, 3 hits, and between the lot of you and Rictavio also seeing and making an attack.
So pretty much everyone saw it.
Yeah. And as it's just kind of beginning to merge with the shadow on the floor, you all simultaneously attack, and it just dissipates. All right.
Wait, did Ricavo ever kill that one that was attacking him, or did it phase away too?
Well, let's see. Go ahead and make a perception check to see if you would have noticed.
Alright.
I think I did actually narrate this, but yes,
You did.
he did in fact kill the thing.
Yeah, you said on his second slash, he slashed right through it and it dissipated.
That is correct.
Oh.
All right. Go ahead and make a medicine check.
I didn't hear anything Becca said.
Yep, same here.
Yeah, you're still not coming through.
There we go.
Yeah.
Wait, Eric, say something.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Good. I
Working.
just want to make sure it wasn't coming through our onboard.
Yeah, okay, cool.
We are good.
What?
Did music just start playing?
No?
Because I just started hearing
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's music.
you.
Now I can't hear her.
Now they can't hear you.
Well, I'm authentic.
Oh.
I could hear it through you.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it taking you so long to authenticate?
I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. It takes like 5 minutes.
Learn to Discord. talking to your computer, not you. Anyway, she wanted to make a medicine check she wanted to make a check to see if she knew anything that might stabilize Ron in his current condition.
Drugs. All the drugs.
You do not.
Just put copious amounts of drugs in all of my orifices.
Crazy things.
There
What
we
was
go.
that, Becca?
Can I perceive to see if I see anything else not right?
As far as his status, or just looking around at your surroundings, or what are you talking about?
My surroundings.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
I see nothing. I am too distraught about Ron.
That's probably fair. Alright. I suppose let's keep going in some semblance of an initiative order, just in case anything happens. Is there anything you'd like to tell the bears to do?
Stand guard.
Okay. Stand guard they do. Alright. And Melkar?
I don't even... Gotta try and give him some CPR with the medicine check.
Sure. Go ahead and make a medicine check.
Maybe it'll like start his heart and lungs up again.
Trying to open mouth kiss me. That's all you're trying to do.
Alright, and you give him the full CPR workover, and nothing seems to have any effect.
Gee, there's some tongue used in there too.
A little bit.
Seeing that that doesn't work, can I use your reaction to say that we may need to fetch the head guy of this place? See if he knows anything.
Maybe Rictavio can do something?
Yeah, we're getting around to his go at things.
Give me a dream pastry. That would cure me.
Okay. So, yeah, after Melkar, that brings us to Rictavio. Let's see. See if he's got any tricks up his sleeve.
At least somebody's concerned about me.
Thought about raising your head and pouring some wine down your throat.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so sad.
No.
Okay.
Shoosh.
Shoosh indeed. Alright. So, Octavio, as you know, all of you are doing your best to stabilize or resuscitate Ron or whatever you can do. He slowly walks forward and kind of kneels by Ron's body. Quickly checks his vitals and kind of shakes his head sadly. Then reaches into his coat, producing a scroll tube. He pulls it out And after uttering a short prayer to the Morning Lord, proceeds to unfurl the scroll and utter a few unfamiliar words that are written across it. There is a blinding eruption of gold light that emanates from the scroll. And Rictavio reaches through it with one hand, placing it down on Ron's lifeless body. And Ron, you wake up on the floor, looking up at all your friends. It's surprisingly bright in here.
Huh.
But you are back in the land of the living. Or, well, Barovia, I suppose,
Yeah.
if you could call it the land of the living.
Just see me licking my lips a little bit as you get up and notice your lips are wet as well.
Yeah. I reach in my mouth and pull out a hair and look over and realize that it's not my hair. I think it's Malkar's. Just kind of throw it on the ground.
Does he look strong?
I was able to lift a hair out of my mouth.
There is that.
I am not strong by any means.
Yeah, everybody go ahead and make perception checks.
Including me?
Yeah, sure.
Nope. I don't perceive shit.
Your eyes
Okay.
are still shriveled.
I think we might have business to attend to, Eric.
I think we might. But before that, ear licks. Okay, I will be back.
Because your got licked?
My ear got licked.
Maybe.
I will impart my ear licked wisdom upon you.
I hope to hell I'm back to okay because I reset my strength back, so.
And before you look like me, you got your all grayish skin and your veins are all black.
Are your veins still black?
Yeah.
They're permanently.
Yep.
Oh. Cool. You can still hear us, Eric?
Yep.
Okay. I ask Ron to stand up.
You can. Your strength is back to normal.
Okay. I will shakily stand up as I still only have 5 hit points.
I want to bring a light over to Ron.
You
And
light to me?
I'm taking a light off the wall or whatever. Wherever we have a light. I'm taking a light. And
Yeah,
I'm
there are a few still barely burning candles. The
You're kind of cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, but I got
Oh.
the gist of it. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I bring a candle over and I point out that Ron no longer has a shadow.
Right.
Wait, really?
Really, really.
Really.
Only Ron's missing a shadow?
Yep.
He was nothing but dead weight anyway.
Do an Arcana check.
In the meantime, I'm gonna heal Ron some. If Ron would like.
Oh, yes. We definitely like it.
There, at 15.
Sweet. I'm not about to die. Thank you.
Can I do an Arcana check on Ron?
Sure. Tell me what you get, because I'm not at my monitor right now.
I
21.
would also like to do an Arcana check on him.
Okay, that's a 21, and
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna use my thing on it. So I have 11.
okay. Please hold.
Lick, 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 lick.
Oh, the dogs are running outside.
Yeah, I have to round them up.
Aw. Is it cold for all of you over there?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is cold as shit.
Can confirm.
It's cool off, but it's still not like. Yeah.
It's 16. This morning it was 8 when I looked
Yeah.
at my phone. After the sun rose, it was still 8. Just kind of upsetting.
It's cold as shit.
Oh. I just want to say that that's one of my most favorite Iron Maiden songs.
I'm super curious to figure out what happened to you. I wonder if it's like literally from One Piece, where you go out in the light and you just die.
Yep.
Well, there's a story in ESO, the last new DLC had stuff where they were stealing people's shadows and taking all their magic with them.
Huh. Does it make
But
it so
Eric,
they can never do magic again?
it takes like if you kill it and stuff, like whatever magic it takes with it, it takes that magic with it. So it won't necessarily, depending on when you get it to separate, it won't take all of your magic. But if you kill it, then you just permanently lose that magic. It's just gone.
Rip.
Okay. See if their tits.
What?
Let us see if their tits are.
Nope. Leave them outside for next couple hours.
Well, they'd be too frozen to be calm.
All right. So, Arcana checks.
21 and 11.
Okay. I don't know that Arcana would necessarily benefit you so much here. So,
Was he, like, afflicted by some kind of magical curse or anything like that?
not really.
Hmm.
Can I do I don't know, history check?
Sure.
Damn.
Okay. So this is more the stuff of scary stories people tell each other around the campfire. But you have heard tales of things like this before. Most often, the creatures that do this sort of thing are simply referred to as shadows, and they are a type of undead that, well, they attack the living, and leech their strength, and anyone who is killed by such an attack from a shadow, should they happen to be resurrected, they no longer cast a shadow.
But there's no, like, negative effect for not casting a shadow.
Well, there are tales of the lost shadows of those who've been killed by these creatures returning to either haunt them or hunt them, but we're not sure that that's entirely factual.
Okay. I will impart this wisdom upon the group. And I say that I think we need an explanation is required at this point.
Yeah, we definitely need to figure out what's going on.
Do we know where the head guy is sleeping?
Where he's sleeping?
Yeah.
I don't think that's something you would know.
Searching the place until I find where he's sleeping.
What about that one that brought us in here and pretty much took us on tour?
Otto?
Yeah. Do we know where you can find him?
Well, he was sleeping in one of the gatehouses when you first entered.
I'll go out there and
Yeah,
ask
I guess
him.
we can go to the gatehouse and find him.
Okay.
What were these things called again?
The creatures?
Yeah.
Shadows?
Okay. That's what I thought, but then I wasn't sure if I was just calling them that in my head or not.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're leaving the hospital area and striking out to find Otto?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just sticking with Rictavio.
Alright. Well, as all of you have round up your things and make your way back out toward the kind of central courtyard framed in by the two wings of the abbey, you make your way through the kind of main walkway across the courtyard and down a staircase located at the opposite end. Eventually emerging just outside the large dining area where you had initially met the abbot. And as you step out into the scantily lit courtyard, you can still see at the far end of the courtyard near the building that you were attempting to sleep in, there is still the misshapen, hunched form of some creature chained to a post. You can hear it sort of snorting, attempting to breathe as it maybe gets some semblance of sleep. As you make your way back toward the gatehouse where you initially met Otto, you pass by a single large well in the middle of the courtyard. Casts a long, ominous shadow in the silvery moonlight. But you do make it back to the gatehouse. And inside you do hear the familiar snorting and snoring of Otto. The window is just barely ajar. And if you approach, you can even peek in and just see him sprawled out on a bedroll just inside.
I want to gently kick the outside of the little guardhouse. Wake him up. The thuds.
Okay. So with the dull thud of Melkar's foot, you just hear. Ah. He kind of groggily stands up and kind of scratches his head, and pokes his head out the window. See you. Huh? What? What do you want?
I'll be back.
We just got attacked by some shadowy figures. And, Ron died.
He kind of looks over at Ron and then back at you, and kind of like gestures toward him with like two hands, like, but he's right here.
I point to the ground, say, notice something missing?
He looks down, back up at you. Now?
He doesn't have a shadow anymore.
Kind of shrugs, just goes, eh?
I sigh and ask him, do you know where to find the owner of this place? Where's he sleeping?
He kind of furrows his eyebrows and the Abbott doesn't sleep.
Well, where is he usually at this time of the day?
Great Hall?
You want to take us to it?
Deep sigh. One moment. And he kind of like slams the window shut. You hear things kind of rustling around, the clattering of some odds and ends kind of being thrown across the room, presumably. And eventually he lets himself out the back door, which closes. And he just starts walking right back the way you came, toward the central courtyard, through the stone-framed metal gates that lead beyond the well and back into the building that you had descended the staircase from to reach this ground level. He again kind of throws open the large door at the mouth of this great hall, and with kind of an exasperated bow, just gestures for you to head inside.
Is the abbot there?
As you walk in, you can see the familiar frame of the abbot, just sort of standing, staring absent-mindedly into the roaring fire in the fireplace. He doesn't really seem to respond as you enter.
Abbot. Yes, I will walk over to in front of him to see if he sees me.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of round the corner of his peripheral vision, he does casually glance over in your direction. Oh, awake so soon?
We were attacked by some shadows. I was wondering if you knew anything about that.
There's a brief pause before he says, I'm not entirely sure I understand. You were attacked by shadows.
Shadowy figures attacked us while we were sleeping
That's,
in
that's the term for them. They are called shadows, and they are what they sound like.
Well, I am sorry that such misfortune befell you as you spent your evening here at the Abbey. But I assure you I had no knowledge of any such creatures being still even capable of living here in this holy place.
Insight check.
Okay.
well. Can I do as well?
Yeah. um,
Eat. Okay.
okay, you get the impression that he may not have necessarily known that they were here, but didn't really put in the effort to check and make sure that everything was safe either.
Well, I would expect you warn your guests before they die that they could. But I guess that was hoping for too much.
As I had already mentioned, I was not aware that these creatures were within the walls of the Abbey. I do apologize.
Have you never seen them before? Or heard of them?
Perhaps in passing, but I had no knowledge of their presence here.
Okay. Well, do you know of anything that could fix the damage they wreaked?
Oh, you all seem to be standing here in reasonably good health.
Like, well, I point to Ron, and apparently smack Sadie in her nose. I point to Ron and say, well, he doesn't have a shadow anymore. And both me and point at Rictavio have lost a severe amount of strength.
That is most unfortunate. Unfortunately, we don't have any other facilities suitable for a party the size of yours. If you don't feel safe in the blessed holy ground of the Morning Lord, you are, I suppose, welcome to seek refuge down in the village.
When was the last time you consecrated your medical wing?
It's been quite some time.
I think it needs to be consecrated again.
Duly noted.
And I'll turn towards the group, wondering what they are thinking.
Roughly what time is it? Like, how long did we sleep for?
You did not sleep very long, maybe an hour or two?
Well, because we got combat, we're gonna have to sleep again anyways, because it resets that.
Yeah.
Is there a couch or anything in this room?
There are maybe a couple benches.
Any of
There's
them padded?
not particularly.
I'll find the comfiest looking one, lay down on it, and just sleep. This has all been too much.
Okay.
I'll join him.
Okay.
Find a nice comfy bench.
Just inviting ourselves into sleep in this room.
We're in the Great Hall. We're not in his
Oh.
room.
I'd
I'm
rather
used to
sleep
sleeping
there.
on the floor anyways.
Well, shit, if he's in the room, he'll keep watch, and if he doesn't sleep, there you go.
Is there a wall I could prop myself up against? I'm sitting
Um,
No
against
walls. Ceiling's floating.
ones that don't have like a bunch of crap lined around it, like furniture and whatnot.
There are a bunch of suits of knights along every single wall.
Lining the walls.
Mm-hmm. Oh, as an aside, Ron, go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
Alright. 71.
Okay.
Did I burst into flames?
No.
Okay.
Well, out of character, I think I know what it is.
Out of character, I have no fucking clue what it is.
Like, not the specific thing afflicting you, but I think I know what the effect is.
I'm curious. What do you think is going on?
You have a chance of taking damage or dying from being on concentrated ground, regardless of alignment. Like maybe you're considered undead or something.
Your shadow's gonna find you and kill you.
That's
Oh
fine.
yeah, forgot about that too.
Okay. So you're crashing in the Great Hall at the Abbey?
Yep.
Alright.
I'll just prop myself up against the wall and pull my hood up, just so we can barely see my eyes. I'm gonna kind of half-ass pretend like I'm sleeping, but I want to keep watch for at least an hour.
Alright.
Make sure nothing vicious happens while everyone's sleeping. Oh,
I'm pretty tired after almost half my strength got stolen away from me.
Okay. So you fall into an uneasy sleep. But rest is rest. And it was well needed. So all of you who were down any amount of strength, you do recover all of it back to your normal amounts.
Ooh.
And you do eventually gain the benefits of a long rest.
Whoa.
No shenanigans happened in that first hour that I was aware of.
Nope,
Do I level up?
just you. I mean, not right now.
I have strength again.
I was fine to begin with.
I lost 8 strength. How much did you end up losing? As Ron.
I lost all 11. So as Ron gets up, he wakes up with a start and is like looking around just nervously. And I like to see Malkar like in with his back against the wall, and I'll go over there and sit next to him with my back against the wall.
Okay,
Sleeping for that extra hour.
fair enough. So, Yoan, having not taken any extra time to look around as you were falling asleep, you probably wake up around the same time as Ron.
Okay.
And you just see him make his way over to the wall and sit there next to Malkar, nervously looking around, eyes kind of darting back and forth around the room.
I asked Ron if he feels okay.
No, not really. I just got that feeling, just feeling that something's out there and after me.
It's probably your shadow.
It's everywhere I go, and I know it's watching me. I always feel it watching me.
Since when?
Do I know when?
Kind of dawned on you last night.
So, last night, was it after I died?
Yeah.
Okay, last night after I woke up and you guys were all around me.
Yeah. It's your shadow.
Well,
Probably.
And I'm like spinning around in circles at this point, trying to watch behind my back at all times. Well, where is it?
I don't know. Somewhere nearby?
Well, that's not good. It's gonna do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Do I know anything about how to get a shadow to be back with a person?
I grab Rictavio by the shirt and I'm like, "You gotta help me, man! It's after me, man!"
He has been sleeping. And as you do that, and his eyes just flash open. What are you talking about?
It's after me. My shadow's after me. I know
What?
it, and I'm looking
Where?
behind me. I don't know, but I feel it always watching me.
Well, not much we can do until we know where the threat is. I'm not sure what to tell you besides keep a vigilant eye.
At this point, I'm like just spinning around in circles again, kind of watching my back at all times. Or trying to, and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying, but I could use some help.
Hey, Ron,
What? Yeah? What?
you got some black grass?
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a time for it.
Alright, well, if I'm gonna roll it up, you gotta watch my back.
I will.
Alright. I'll roll up a big fat one. And light it.
Okay.
And just...
Yeah, it certainly helps take the edge off, but there is still that nagging feeling that something or someone is just always there.
So I'm about halfway through it. I'm just sitting there leaning against the wall. Halfway through it, I'm just like, fuck you too, and just like flipping off all around the, like, middle finger all around, just swinging my arm around with the middle finger out. And I'm just like, fuck you, man. You never were anything but other than dead weight.
As it manifests itself and attacks you.
But to answer that question from before, I would say with as high as you rolled, knowing about shadows and all that stuff, you probably would have heard it mentioned that finding and killing a rogue shadow would restore the natural shadow to its original owner.
Do I know how to track shadows to kill them?
Not so much.
I tell Ron, it's like if we kill another shadow, your shadow should return to its normal place.
Cool. That's cool. Everything's fine. Hey, it might be cool having no shadow,
Until it tries to kill you.
Well, I mean, I already had some shadows try to kill me, and we saw how that turned out, so...
You died.
No, I passed out.
No, you died.
Well... I don't remember. I would have known if I'd have died.
You were too busy being dead to know anything.
Are you for real, man?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Ron, go ahead and make a history check.
Okay.
You do recall having some semblance of kind of a weird dream while you were, well, unconscious or whatever you may have been last night. I kind of remember walking through this seemingly endless rolling mist. No beginning, no end. And lots of other humanoids kind of passing by, mingling and listlessly wandering through the mist with you.
No, see, I remember I had a dream last night. I couldn't have been dead. Because why would I have dreamed people walking by? I was standing in a real misty area, bunch of people walking by.
Maybe that was the afterlife.
I don't think so. I was told there'd be a lot more partying.
Were they reputable sources?
Yeah, man, they've seen that place. They've been there. I've got some friends that have seen some shit, man.
Well, you died. I was there.
Well, I'll have to tell my friends about this one. And at this point, I will cast Sending on one of my bandmates. I'm gonna cast it on the guitarist. And I'm gonna
Okay.
say, guess what, man? I finally died. I know. It's ridiculous. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Alright, you get a quick response back. What the fuck, man? Where are you?
And then I go, I think, shit. And I actually say, shit out loud.
What?
Well, I sent a message to my bandmate, man, and it worked. But I just realized that I really can't send any other messages today.
You just hear it loud
Just a loud slow clap.
face palm.
Oh. But at least I can send a message out. I mean, that's cool, right?
Yeah?
So, but yeah. So, what are we gonna do about this shadow?
I don't know. We can wait tomorrow night where we were before and see if we can find more shadows.
Well, you seem to know a bit about this. Is my shadow actually after me, or is it just...
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know. There's not too much accurate information on shadows, believe it or not.
I look at Rictavio. Well, can you brighten it up around here, man?
He kind of looks at you.
What was that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
He says, yes, I suppose. Do you mean now or later in the evening?
I'm just talking about in general. Like, if we can keep the shadows away from me, then, well, we can see a shadow streaking across that shouldn't be coming. I just have to stay in light.
Not a bad idea. And, yeah,
Ron had an idea.
He's stoned. What do you expect?
That's pretty fair. Let's see. So yeah, Rictavio is able to cast light as needed, although, in the Great Hall, things are pretty well illuminated. So,
Yeah, I guess then what I'll do is I'll just push at, pick a spot in the floor and just sit where it's wide open.
okay.
There's no real shadows around me.
Alright. So you're just sitting there, kind of staking out, waiting for your shadow to come get you?
Yep.
Okay. So, you sit there for an hour. No movement. Keep going. Are you going to keep going?
Ron?
Sorry, what was that?
Said you sit there for an hour, and asked if you're going to keep going after not seeing anything for an
Well,
hour
I'm
or
just
so.
sitting there all day.
All day. Okay.
Yep. As long as
Alright.
there's somebody else in the room with me, I'm sitting there.
Okay. Well,
I guess I'll spend that time trying to commune Thulu if I can. I'll
Okay.
spend the whole day doing it.
okay.
I turn towards Rictavio and asks if we leave these two guarding each other, should we try and finish up any business we have here?
He looks at you and says, specifically, what business are you referring to?
Um, see if anyone in the town knows of this apprentice of yours.
He is certainly a bit hesitant, but is... Yes, as a matter of fact, didn't the abbot say something about perhaps knowing where she is?
And I look at the abbot, assuming he's still here.
He's around. He's kind of let himself wander a bit, making a few short trips upstairs before always kind of returning back to this room.
So, the abbot,
Yes.
you may know where his previous apprentice is.
Yes, you mean the young Vistana woman.
Yes.
She has been taking up residence here, not all that far from where you spent the evening, or attempted to spend the evening last night.
Can we go talk to her?
Yes, if you simply go and fetch Otto, he will lead you to where she has been spending her evenings.
Okay, off to find Otto.
Okay. And find him you do, without much trouble.
And ask Otto for directions.
Yep. And essentially, he leads you right back up. Same flight of stairs, around the kind of catwalks that frame the courtyard. And this time, instead of taking you into the first door that you would come to upon reaching the opposite wing of the abbey from where the Great Hall is, he continues towards sort of a back corner. A second door that had been just barely out of sight the first time you made your approach here. And he kind of hobbles up to the door and lifts one sort of furry, gnarled hand to kind of thump, thump, thump on the door. There is a pause, but you do hear the vague sounds of movement from beyond the door. After a few seconds, you do hear some footfalls, sort of purposefully walking in your direction. And before long, the door does swing open, quite abruptly, and you see a surprisingly young woman, um, dressed in a manner very similar to what you saw in the members of the Vistani tribe back near the Ser Pool, in the encampment where you ran into Madame Eva, the old crone who read your fortune. She has a look upon her face of mild annoyance, but also certainly a curiosity, especially upon noticing that Otto is not the only one standing at the door that she's just opened. As she kind of looks at you, Yoan, and furrows a brow like, who are you? She notices standing just beyond you, possibly intentionally, a bit beyond the scope of the door frame, Rictavio. And her mouth just sort of falls agape. The look of absolute shock mixed with pain, mixed with joy. The perhaps most conflicted expression you have ever seen on the face of a person. And then her gaze sort of snaps back to you, Yoan, and says, she says, who are you?
My name's Yoan. No, I'm not from here.
Yes.
Yes.
And what do you want?
Well, to be noisy. I would like to go back to my world. But now I'm caught up in all of this business.
I'm afraid you'll have to be a little more specific.
As far as I know, the only way to get home is to destroy Strahd, or get on his good side to have him let us go. And I'd prefer to destroy Strahd. I was told that you might help in that endeavor.
Any enemy of Strahd is an ally of mine. So are you, partnered with him? Looking over at Rictavio.
Well, if you can say it, fate kind of brought us together.
And it's just the two of you.
Oh, no. There are two others. But unfortunately, when we spent the night here yesterday, one of them got a shadows attacked, and one of them lost their shadow.
Well, such are the risks of spending a night in a strange place in Barovia. So, where is the rest of your team?
They're in the Great Hall.
Alright. Well, give me one moment. Looks down at Otto and says, I can find my way. Just show them back to the hall and I will be there momentarily. Sort of, before even waiting for a response, she shuts the door and you can hear seems like a number of wooden and metallic implements being kind of laid out, organized, stowed somewhere. And Otto just kind of shrugs and starts hobbling off back toward the opposite wing of the abbey where the Great Hall is.
Okay. Well, follow him back to the Great Hall.
Okay.
Does Rictavio look upset?
He's certainly been conspicuously silent. There is a kind of pallor to his face, suggesting that he really wishes that there was some other way of dealing with Strahd and putting an end to all the madness that has come of his reign, but there's also a hint of kind of resignation that, well, if it has to be this way, then we'll do what we have to do. But he's certainly troubled.
Okay.
So as you're shown back to the Great Hall, where you still see Ron and Malkar sitting, Ron keeping a vigilant watch and Malkar kind of deep in meditation. The two of you, by the way, haven't really had anything out of the ordinary happen in this time. A few minutes pass before you hear a kind of jingling off-rhythm gait of someone walking down the flight of stairs that would lead down to the Great Hall from the battlements and catwalks that span the courtyard. And turning the corner, entering the room, all of you now see Esmeralda standing there. Red cloth headband, sort of, well, I guess headscarf, sort of keeping her hair back. A large red cloak kind of draped over her so as to obscure a number of her features. But one thing that you can see is one of her legs seems to not sit quite naturally. And upon closer inspection, you can see peeking out of the top of her boot is what looks like a mechanism of some sort, seemingly made of various pieces of wood and metal. It would appear that perhaps from that point just below her knee down, she has a prosthesis for one of her feet, and in fact, her shin as well. So, she walks in and has a seat on one of the benches near where your group has congregated. And before beginning any open discussion, she does walk over to Yoan and say, "You are aware of his interests, yes?" Gesturing over to the abbot, who is sitting over by the fire, seemingly not paying any attention to what's going on in your little group.
Do I remember his interests? Do I know them?
You've heard them before.
I know, but it's been so long.
Okay. Does anybody out of character remember?
Remember him doing something with people's bodies, like Frankenstein crap.
I don't think Ron remembers much of anything.
Okay.
But does Taylor remember anything?
What was it that we were...
The abbot and his pursuits and interests.
Oh, yeah. I have nothing in my notes. I have
Okay.
auto. That's it.
Alright. Well, essentially, before you were shown to your, supposedly place to sleep for the night, which turned out to not be so restful, you met the abbot, who introduced you to a prospective bride for Strahd that he had
Oh,
created.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll say, yes.
Alright. And Esmeralda sort of begins to kind of take charge of the conversation. Largely doing her best to not get to the meat of what she knows you want to talk about. Almost kind of turning it into small talk before suggesting that you all go on a walk, perhaps back down to the village, or at least to some more pleasant scenic location outside.
All of us, or just...
I mean, essentially the whole group, yeah. You get the impression that she's trying to get away from the abbot.
Okay.
I want to try and keep most of my face covered until we get outside.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know of a nice place to take a walk?
Of course, we could head outside the walls and perhaps follow the road back down to the village.
Okay.
Alright.
Follow your lead.
Alright. And as soon as you leave the walls of the abbey, she certainly seems to loosen up a bit. And at that point, she says, "Okay. Now, you tell me that you have designs on defeating the devil.
Yes.
What do you have at your disposal?"
I want to get close to her and then lift up my hood. Just show her my ugliness. So all the veins popping out and whatnot.
She instinctively reaches for a sword down at her side. "What are you?"
My name's Melkar. I hold up my hand to shake it.
With a very disapproving look, she stretches out a gloved hand and quickly shakes yours before returning her hand down to her side near where you can see a number of weapons kind of sitting down by her waist. So, if you are to dispose of the devil, what is the plan? What do you have to use? What is the how do you intend to do what no one has done in over a century of his reign?
Well, I'm putting on a concert.
She just gives you this like side eye, like what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
So Strahd wants this guy Ron is an accomplished musician in where we come from, and Strahd wants him to have a concert in what's that city?
Milwaukee?
Yes.
Yeah. So at least there we'll know where Strahd is, and he won't be in his castle. But we also talked to Madame Eva, who gave us veiled clues on what we would need. I turn towards Ron and be like, Ron, you wrote down what she said.
Oh, her cards, yes. And I kind of reach in my pocket and pull out some random spell components. Go, nope, that's not it, and shove those in another pocket and reach in another one. And do this for about 30 seconds or so. Finally, kind of snap my fingers, reach in my back pocket, and pull out the cards. And start reading them off. And we had the left card, History. Knowledge of the ancient will help me better understand the enemy. The card is Miser. Look for a fortress inside of a fortress in a place hidden behind fire. So that was one. Top card was tells of a powerful force for good and protection. A holy symbol of great hope. Card was a rogue. In a nest of ravens, there you will find the prize. That one we already found. Octavio has that. Right card. Card of power and strength tells of a weapon, vengeance, sword of sunlight. Card is Abjurer. Card means a fallen house guarded by a great stone dragon. Look to the highest peak. We went there. Didn't end up very well. Yes. That one's still up for grabs. I have the bottom card. Sheds light on one who will help greatly in battle against darkness. Card is the Mists. We were told about Vistana named Esmeralda, who wanders the land looking for a mentor. And we were told where to find you, and came here, and well, here you are. So that was part of it. And middle card was the enemy is Creature of Darkness. Middle card leads us to him. Card is Artifact. He lurks in the darkness where light once shone. A sacred place.
I have a feeling there's something in the Amber Temple as well.
With that,
The
I
Amber
fold the
Temple.
card, fold it back up and shove it back in my back pocket.
Okay. And what would make you want to go to the Amber Temple?
I've been having a couple visions here and there about it.
What sort of visions?
Well, I saw the temple itself from the outside, and then it would fade into somewhere inside of it, where there was 3 big blocks of amber with some kind of dark swirling power inside of it, and one of them was broken.
And what sort of power? 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 What sort of po Well, I am by no means an expert on this particular subject. I can tell you that a number of great men, better than you or I, gave their lives to ensure that what lies in the temple never makes its way back out. You would do well to think twice before going there.
Wildlife suddenly rejects it. The sound of him even.
Gonna go there at some point.
Well, if you insist, all I would ask is that you do your best to leave any of those dark secrets intact. There's enough darkness in this world already.
I just go, "Pfft, you haven't seen the half of it." I'm thinking of my patron when I say that.
Well, it seems you do have a plan. And from the sound of things, a list of items that you have not yet acquired.
That is correct.
You say you attempted to retrieve this sword, and it did not go well, yes?
Yes, there were some things guarding it.
Yeah, they dropped and just got back up.
And the other card, this fortress within a fortress. Any ideas what this could be?
I was thinking the tower over by the lake where Tavia knows the place.
As do I. I believe both of us have spent a good deal of time living there. And I find it hard to believe that something of such great power could reside there without us knowing about it.
Well, it's in a place hidden behind fire.
I thought of behind maybe a fireplace I could get past. Thing.
Would certainly be worth looking into, but I believe there may be more to that clue than you are currently thinking.
Okay. I mean, I really don't do much thinking, so...
He doesn't.
Think back of the times we ate pastry and he got kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And at this point, I'm still, like, kind of... It's starting to... My high's starting to wear off, so I'm, like, looking around, getting a little more paranoid.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Well, Esmeralda then just says, well, you found me, and it would seem you have other business to attend to, so when do we leave?
Well, hopefully we can kill a shadow and retrieve this guy's shadow so that he doesn't have to be paranoid all the time, and then we can leave. So, hopefully tomorrow.
Very well. Is there anything I can do to assist you in the meantime?
Find my shadow.
Well, we need to locate at least a shadow.
Well, I have an idea for tonight. For myself, at least. So... But anybody who wants to, I'm going to stay in the infirmary. But I look over at Yoan and Malkar and I say, "You guys have seen it. I'm going to use my bubble,
Yeah,
and that'll protect us."
I'll help get your shadow back.
So. I wonder if it wouldn't be like putting ourselves in like a little light bulb glass and having like my shadow be a bug on the outside, just kind of tink, 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 just can't get in.
I'm not sure if that's how that is, but we can find out.
Okay.
Very well. If you would require my assistance, you know where to find me. She just sort of gives a slight bow to the three of you and kind of casts a look over at Rictavio. You get the impression neither one of them really knows what to think at this point.
Well, if she's still standing in front of me, I'll say, well, what is it that you can do?
I have a number of specialized weapons for hunting the undead. I make use of a number of spells and magical boons, and the powers of my people, though I am not one who serves Strahd, do remain with me. I am able to place a curse on foes and use other Vistani powers, typically reserved for those that serve him.
Huh.
That cat.
That was me. My cat made a noise. I want to tell her where I'm at.
Right.
Sorry.
Just meowing in the middle of D&D.
It was important.
Well, I would say if you want to have a safe place that you can go tonight, meet up with us at the infirmary tonight, and I'll give you a safe place to stay.
Very well. I'll see you there tonight.
All right.
So she heads off back toward the Abbey, kind of leaving you between the Abbey and the village of Kresk. You could choose to spend the rest of your day preparing at the Abbey, or you could poke around in the village some more, whichever you choose.
What time of the day is it?
At this point, it's kind of early to mid-afternoon, maybe around 2, 3 o'clock.
How long does it take to walk back up there?
Not too long. Probably a little under an hour.
Okay. How many hours until dusk?
If you had to guess, you'd say probably 4-ish.
I look at other people's.
Are there like a lot of shadows around me?
I mean, you are outside. There is kind of that dull, pseudo sunlight shining down. The pine trees all about sort of cast these oddly shaped shadows, framing the road. So, yeah, they're a good number.
Is there a place at all that's not in any shadow?
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you headed right for the middle of the road and, kind of made sure that you were away from any of the larger trees, you might find a spot.
Yeah, I'll find that spot and stand in it and say, yeah, I need to get somewhere. And I'll just be kind of spinning around, like, trying to make sure nothing's sneaking up on me.
I guess we will go back and prepare for the night.
Okay. So you head back to the Abbey, and is there anything in particular you'd like to do to prepare for this second round?
Well,
I want to move the bed so that there's a big clear spot.
yep.
Okay.
I want to set up something, just anything in the middle to where Octavio can cast light on it. So light everything up.
Okay. Anything else?
Do just go back to communing.
Eat dinner.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as you have now prepared everything and kind of set up your defensive position in the middle of the old infirmary, as dusk nears, Esmeralda does make her way up and join you in the kind of fortification in the middle of the room.
Alright. I say, everybody get the beds inside, and I have, like, a circle kind of, not really carved, but, like, kind of a circle where my sphere is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so get all your beds inside here, if you want one. And get inside yourselves as well. And then
I drag a couple beds over.
Okay.
Once they do, and we have enough beds and stuff inside, I will cast my tiny hut.
All right.
And up to 9 creatures of medium size can fit in it.
Okay.
I would assume it'd be like just a little pop-up tent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a pretty decent sized pop-up tent.
Yeah. And I'll just say, you guys can all willingly move in and out of it. But anything chasing you won't be able to get in here. I have to stay in here, though, which I'm okay with.
So Eric.
Yeah.
For, like, clarification, does he need to be the one to kill a rogue shadow to get his shadow back, or just kind of in his presence?
You haven't heard anything that specifically says it has to be killed by the owner of the missing shadow.
Okay. Okay, then.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I was just thinking about this. Before I cast that, can I have cast Fairy Fire?
Sure.
Are they both concentration?
I believe Fairy Fire is, but I just want to cast that and look around first. Make sure there's no shadows hiding anywhere.
Oh,
Because fairy fire lights up the area.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So you cast your fairy fire, and you don't see anything unexpected.
okay. And then as soon as I cast that, and we don't see anything, that's when I cast the bubble. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing in there with us.
Okay.
Or with me. So, alright.
All right. So wait around for a bit.
you're a kitty.
Wait around for an hour and a half as the sun finally settles off in the distance. And the room grows pretty dark. Is the plan to have Rictavio consistently just casting light on something in the middle of the room, or?
Actually, my hut is, interior can become dimly lit or dark.
Mm-hmm.
So, with it being dimly lit, I can still see things, but so I really don't need Rictavio.
Okay.
So, because dimly lit, I can still see around the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, I'd like everybody to go ahead and make perception checks. Okay. All right. So, as you're sitting there, kind of keeping watch over the room, Yoan and Malkar, you do notice a sort of shapeless form begin to coast across the floor toward the hut, and it sort of seems to hesitate before making its way right to the edge, and it seems as though it is trying to pass through, but it's repelled by the magical barrier formed by this spell. It just sort of lingers there.
Well, I turn and be like, well, I guess we should take care of this. And I will step outside of... Can I attack it? I can't attack... Can I attack it from within the barrier?
No.
No?
Physically, you can, but like you can attack outside of it. But if you're using a spell, then you cannot.
But, like, I can try and spear it through the barrier?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
magic
'cause
stuff. It
as
doesn't
long
work.
as physically you're sticking your arm through it to spear it, yeah.
Okay. I want to try and attack it with my spear.
Okay.
That did not go as planned.
That it did not. And so you attempt to spear the thing, but it just sort of seems to reshape itself around the thrusting spear. Anyone else doing anything? As you see Yoan jump up and try and stab at this thing?
I say, Yoan, what are you doing?
Okay. I have found a shadow.
Oh. Is it mine?
I don't know. It seems to want to get at you.
Well, I get up and walk over to where Yoan's standing and put my face right to the edge of the thing and look at the shadow.
Does it look like you?
I don't know. What do I see? If I look like close to
It doesn't look like much of anything in particular. It's just kind of this shadowy mass. Kind of a glob of just darkness.
I'm gonna sniff. What do I smell? Anything?
old musty infirmary.
I don't know. It might be mine. I'll just kind of shrug and sit there and just kind of watch it as it's struggling and trying to get in.
Okay.
I'll look at Melkar and say, if you want to help, feel free.
Well, can I try and stab it again?
Well, if no one else is taking any action, Rictavio and Esmeralda are both going to attempt to do something about this. So, Rictavio going to brandish the sword cane and make a couple of attacks, hitting the thing once, and in one blow, seemingly just dissipating the thing.
Huh.
Does Ron's shadow come back? Does Ron suddenly have a shadow?
You do not see a shadow on Ron.
I say, Ron, the shadow's dead. Maybe you should step out there and see if your shadow's back.
I can't. If I step outside of the bubble, it pops.
Yes, maybe we'll wait till morning and we can see if your shadow's back.
Now, here's a question. Can I just stick my arm out? Because it says it ends if I leave its area. As long as I don't fully leave its area.
I suppose I'd allow it. It's kind of like interacting with something adjacent, not really
Yeah.
fully leaving. So yeah, I'd allow that.
Alright, I'll walk over towards the shadow area where it was, and I'll stick my arm out and just put it in wherever it was.
Okay. Interestingly enough, as you reach out of the area of the hut, just that part of you seems to cast a shadow again.
Okay, I got my shadow back, but not until I get out of here. So,
Well, I mean, we can leave and go to the Great Hall.
Or we could just stay in here and be safe from everything for a night.
Or that.
Because, yeah. Okay, well, this thing lasts about 8 hours, so if we're gonna rest, we might as well rest.
Okay. So is that the plan? Everybody's passing out for the time being?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, you all kind of drift off to sleep. It's, not cramped, but certainly cozy, as you've got the 5 of you in this little hut.
I cranked down the lights a little bit more. It's still a little light in here, just, kind of ambient lighting.
Okay.
So,
Let's see. Don't mind me just mysteriously rolling things.
that's fine. Am I, from what you licked my ear on, am I cured of that?
No.
Okay. Is it safe enough, or am I correct in believing that I'm safe enough to feel safe in the bubble? Like, for as far as I know about the spell and about what it does.
I'd put it this way. The rational side of your brain knows that there's no way anything out there could get into the bubble. But you're still not quite at peace about it. You still have that feeling like something's watching you.
I'll push my bed back, like my bed up against Yoan's, and kind of like just jump in and like get as close as I can, back to back.
Okay.
I just accept this as Ron.
Alright. So, Yoan and Ron, as you drift off to sleep, you slip into a familiar state. You find yourselves just sort of standing semi-conscious somewhere. The two of you still able to see one another, sort of just floating side by side in this seemingly endless sea of just darkness all around.
I'm gonna attempt to swim towards Yoan.
Try as you might, you can't move.
Can I move my tongue or mouth at all?
You can move, but you don't seem to make any sound if you try to speak.
I snap my fingers. I'm gonna try to cast message
Okay.
on Yoan.
Alright. And what are you trying to tell Yoan?
I'm just gonna try to say, "Can you hear me?"
You cannot hear him.
Okay. That's what I figured.
I'm just gonna kind of shrug.
After a few minutes of sitting unsure of what's going on, two little pinpricks of red light come into view in the distant void ahead of you. And they just seem to kind of hover there. Or are they moving towards you, ever so slowly? Yeah, there's certainly some movement there. Inching forward little by little, you see these what once were barely visible red pinpricks of light are now growing pretty large. Each one of them seemingly about the size of you or your companion. And they keep growing. There's really nothing else to see, so it's difficult to gain perspective on what exactly these things are.
Can I see myself?
No.
Well, we can see each other, can't we?
Yes, but you cannot see your own physical presence.
Huh.
And so, as you're just suspended there, watching these red lights grow closer and closer and closer, eventually you can make out in the dull glow emanating from these red lights the rest of a face into which they seem to be set. And just sort of tracing around the face in twisting, convoluted ways, you can see a number of black lines. As the thing grows closer and closer, you can actually make out that this is a large representation of the face of Malkar. Pale skin, black veins showing through the nearly translucent paleness. And before long, it seems as though you were not more than a foot or two away from this face of Malkar that is at least 10 times the height of either of your entire bodies.
I'll just say, hey, Malkar, or try to.
Yeah, you try to.
I'll think it real hard.
And then this smirk sort of appears on his face as each of you feel a number of writhing tentacles begin to reach for you, seemingly from behind and below, and they reach up and envelop both of your forms. And you feel a tingling that turns to a burning, and you hear a deep rumbling laughter erupting, seemingly from no source, but from everywhere all at the same time.
Can I attempt to cast Shatter on myself?
Sure.
Roll on me. It's broken. Oops. Oh, there we go. Now it popped up. I had to click something else. Sorry. There.
Oh. Okay. I mean, you go through all the motions of casting the spell, but it doesn't seem to do anything.
Okay.
And as this rumbling laughter carries on, both of your vision goes black, and you awaken in your beds with a jolt. Ron, your maximum HP is decreased by 8.
Dang. Okay.
And Yoan, your maximum HP is decreased by 14.
Have we gotten a long rest yet?
Not yet.
Did I get at least a short?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But there you are, waking up in a cold sweat in the middle of this musty old infirmary. The rest of your companions sleeping soundly inside the hut.
I'm sick of waking up like this.
Mm-hmm.
I notice Ron is also with the same problem as I have.
Yep. I just wake up and I'm just drenched in a cold sweat, shaking a little bit.
Well, I cast this on both of us.
Okay. Alright. And as you do that, yeah, you do feel your vitality return to what it was.
do we get the original HP back or no?
I would say probably not.
Okay. I'll say, oh, thanks, Joanne.
Okay.
Let's see, we could take an hour or so while we're waiting for everybody else to wake up, if you want.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, I said we can take an hour or so, before everybody else wakes up, since we woke up a little earlier.
Well, if we fall asleep, we might have the same dreams again.
Well, no, I'm saying we could just take a short rest.
Yeah, I guess we could.
Okay.
Short rest it is.
And I will do my Song of Rest. Oop, pull out my didgeridoo and just and
Trying to quietly play the didgeridoo as everyone else is still sleeping.
yeah.
Okay.
So it is
What do I get? An extra
D6.
D6?
Yep. I'm just gonna roll a hit die.
Is that each time I roll a hit
Nope.
die, or?
No, it's
if you
just
roll
once.
any, you get the 1d6.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't need 9.
Well, that's what you got, damn it.
Okay.
Yep, I'm good. I rolled just a single D6. So one hit die. Or D8, whatever it is.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
Short rest successful.
yep.
Yeah. Alright. So then after all that goes down, and you've taken your short rest, the rest of the group wakes up, none the wiser. And, well, it's a new day in Barovia.
I informed them that we had the dumb thing again.
Dumb thing.
Yeah,
Around this point, the
saps
build
our life
fades.
force.
Alright. At that point, Esmeralda seems a bit concerned at this whole thing. And upon asking for an explanation, and I'm sure getting one, yeah,
Yeah.
she racks her brain to see if she can remember anything about this. And with that nat 19, she is able to recall something. She immediately looks over, particularly at the two of you who, said that you had these issues, and says, "Have you had any dealings with hags recently?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And am I correct in guessing you are not able to kill them?
Yeah.
Correct? Yep. Are you a fortune teller?
As a matter of fact, I am, but that is not relevant
Oh.
at the moment. It would seem you have incurred the wrath of, well, some number of hags. And given the symptoms you're describing, I would believe that they are night hags.
Well, they were killing little children and baking them into pies. So,
Delicious pies.
Gives you the dirtiest look.
I didn't know they were made of children. They were pretty good.
Well, regardless of the circumstances, it would seem that you have angered a coven of night hags. And with the wrath of a coven of night hags come nightmares that, if left unchecked, could very well be your undoing.
Well, what do we do about them?
You sound like you know a lot about them. You want to help us kill them?
If it helps me kill Strahd, I will certainly do so. The challenge is be able to find them as they are doing the deed. The nature of night hags is to traverse the planes, hovering between the physical realm and the ethereal. They may have been following you this whole time, watching from the ethereal plane and striding through it, perhaps next to the representations of your physical beings in that plane, and following you into whatever safe place you thought you had found each night.
Well, do they have to sleep?
They
Or
feed on souls.
could they be hearing us now?
It is one thing to see across the plains. It is a different thing to hear. They are probably watching, but they should not be able to determine what is being discussed.
That's good, at least.
Well, do you know how to see into the ethereal, or did they have to come here and into our safe place and do it?
I will have to consult my notes as far as the best means of intercepting and preventing their attacks, as I have only heard of these things from a number of travelers across Barovia, but I believe between myself and the rest of you, now that we know what the problem is, we may be able to do something about it.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be.
So, where are we going from here?
First off, do I have a shadow? I'm like looking around, like dancing around, trying to see if I have a shadow.
You do.
Is it following me or trying to kill me?
Seems to follow you. Although, the state of mind you're in, you wouldn't be surprised if it just sprung up and
Yeah,
tried to kill you.
but it's not trying to kill me yet.
No.
I'll look at it and I'll say, now you keep your ass in line. Don't make me put Yoan back on you. He'll stab the shit out of you. Once I think it's had its turn talking to, I'll look at everybody else and go, okay, I'm ready to go.
Good to know.
Rip.
Who died?
My computer just lagged, then I got disconnected.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so what's the plan of attack for the new day?
So what else needs to be done? Is there anything we can do for Rictavio's tiger? Could we go back and collect it? Bring it back or anything?
Esmeralda chimes in and says, I do seem to recall having heard something about the abbot performing a resurrection for someone in the village at the base of the mountain. Though I am not sure he is the type to whom you want to owe a debt.
Well, I mean, maybe one of his wishes is in line with our own. Either way, I really feel bad about Rictavio losing his tiger, because that tiger loved him.
I would prefer not to owe someone a debt, though.
Well, I'm used to owing people debts. I'll sign up for it.
As long as you don't expect me to pay for it.
We could talk to him. So it's the abbot here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess before we leave, we can talk to him.
And I guess then we have to head back. We can show Esmeralda what is there.
Well, we didn't head out yet, did we?
No, but I mean to get the tiger, we need to go back.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying if we can go back, get the tiger, and then come back, drop it off, then we're good.
Yeah. But I mean, we can, while we are at that place, show Esmeralda what's there, protecting.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fine. Show her the spiders, and then show her the 3 fucking things that wrecked our asses.
Alright, so it sounds like you've got a plan. So is the first move to talk to the abbot, or are you just going to go retrieve the tiger and bring it back?
No, I'm gonna go talk to the abbot first.
Okay. Is everyone going to this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't trust Ron to make a good deal for himself.
Okay. Well, that is where we can pick up next time. Alright?